So this is the first vlog of the new bike, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, depending on what order I publish this material. See, there's the power. That's what I mean, like, you kind of have to rev it up too to really get everything it has. I think this is the best combination of a top-end happy motor and a bulky, low-range torque motor, because it pretty much has it all. I mean, yeah, it tops out at, I mean, the red line's at 11, but the power pretty much falls off anything above about 10, and you start to lose power. But, you know, that's crazy. That's high RPM for a V-twin, and at 4,000 RPM or even a little lower, it's got mad torque. Here's 4,500, and it's like, if I just open it up, I think I'm in 6th gear though, so, oh no, I'm in 5th gear. Now I'm in 6th gear. So yeah, so I've had this bike for about, a couple months now. Kind of went back and forth quite a bit. At one point I really wanted a first generation Yamaha SV6, the one that actually looked good, and it was a half faired. The new one is looks like shit in my opinion, and is fully faired. And they tuned the 600cc motor a bit different to give it more mid-range and make it more streetable. The old FC6 had basically a detuned R6 motor, and it revved nearly as high. I think it redlined at about, I think like 14,000 RPM. And it got its power peaking out at about 12. So that's not far from an actual 600cc race motor. So I wanted one of those for a while, but, oh hey, bikes, more bikes. I work with a guy who used to have an SV650, and he, you know, it came highly recommended from him, so that's kind of what put it on my radar. And the more I learned about it, the more I really decided this was the bike I wanted. 600's just, I don't know. I think if I end up with a 4-cylinder, when and if I end up with a 4-cylinder, it's gonna have to be bigger than 600. I haven't ridden one, but I hear the new Kawasaki ZX6R, the 636 version of it. Yeah! Oh, danger alert. Every time my space even has the potential to get invaded, my spidey sense danger alert goes off. But anyway, yeah, so I feel like 600s are just too peaky for me. You really have to flog the shit out of it to get serious power. I'm barely touching the throttle on this thing right now. This thing will easily break the speed limit. You don't need an R6 to break the speed limit. If I'm racing against an R6 and both of us just kind of take off, you know, not super aggressively, a little bit of throttle in the takeoff, and then open it up after you get moving, this thing will walk away from an R6 until the R6, well, it all happens at about the same time. The R6 gets to about 8,000 RPM in first gear, and I have to shift out of first gear at about the same time. And after that happens, it's all over for me. The R6 is long gone. Now, like I said, I haven't driven the new ZX6R, the 636. I hear it's amazing. I hear it's like a fucking Gixxer 750. Practically. And I could see getting a Gixxer 750. That'd be cool. Nice. Alright. What is... As far as race bikes go, though, I think that if I end up with a true race bike, it's going to be a Triumph Daytona 675. That seems to be the race bike to have these days. And yeah, and with that 3-cylinder, it's a whole different monster from a 4-cylinder. everything I've heard, this is another bike I have not had the pleasure to ride yet, but if I ever find myself in the market for a race bike, I'll probably be test riding some Triumph Daytonas. So there's my exit. I would jump this guy, but this is my exit, so I'm just gonna play it safe. It's fucking windy out here too. But so yeah, the Triumph Daytona is, I think it's the best looking sport bike on the market currently. Possibly one of the best looking sport bikes ever made. Although I'm speaking of not the newest one, the 2009 to 2012. Anyway, best looking. The new one's even better though as far as the machine is concerned. So they're kind of pricey though. I don't know. Even the ZX6, I mean, it's cool. It's fun to pretend by it, but it just debuted and they're pretty pricey. And as I've mentioned, I'm not trying to get a really pricey bike just because that would require me. Oh, whoa, there's some dicey shit around here. Having an expensive bike, in my opinion, hey, what's up, people? Pretty much requires me to get full coverage insurance. I guess it's fun. Let's get off the seat a little bit. Oh, let's not push it too hard. Not in my car. But yeah, I mean, even if I was gonna have a bike that was worth $7 or $8 grand, I feel like full coverage insurance would be a must. And so that's why I'm kind of hesitant. The other bike that I kind of have a thing for is the Yamaha FZ1. That's a 4-cylinder, but it's a liter bike. That's now a detuned R1 motor. It's not peaky the way a 600 is. It's a lot more like R1 style, liter bike, super bike style. And but that's a little bit more of like a long distance, you know, a little more long distance comfortable. I wouldn't say touring bike. It's like a sport standard, sport touring, or some people have called the FZ1 the super standard. But I could see myself on one of those. It's more of a casual riding position than this bike, I'll tell you what. This bike is, I mean, it's a little bit more relaxed than a real sport bike, but not a lot. I like it though, I think it's perfect. First time I rode one of these things, it just like fit me like a glove, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is the bike I'm getting. But I'll probably have this bike for at least a year or two, I figure. Follow this Subaru.